You too, welcome back to the channel. It's B in the building, and today, low-key, this is more of a serious video, because I'm gonna be reacting to a video called "They Lied to Us About Weed." So I think most of y'all already tried it. Everybody probably tried it by the age of like 16, 20. I've tried it. I smoke sometimes, not a lot, but I don't know. I just saw this shit on my For You page. I'm like, yo, I gotta watch this shit. I might as well just make some content out of it and get my thoughts on it, because I'm low-key, like, I'm part of like the community, I might say. And most of y'all probably are too, so it's gonna be an interesting video. And yeah, with that being said, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and stick along, get some snacks. And yeah, let's get right into this video.
For the first time ever, there's more Americans using weed daily than drinking alcohol daily. And as someone who spent nearly a decade of their life doing this, getting geeked up on a daily basis.
Alright, daily's already a little bit crazy. I'll never get geeked up 2 days in a row. But daily is crazy. If y'all smoke daily, bro, y'all gotta cut it down, bro. Like, I feel like to quit, you gotta cut it down and then quit. You can't go from daily to not at all.
It took me a really long time to see weed for what it actually is. It's not this.
Yeah, bro, this shit's a drug, bro. Y'all don't like understand. Weed is a drug. Shit is not like, yeah, it's natural, but so is cocaine, bro. Weed is a drug. So is alcohol, bro. So is sour screen, bro. Weed is a drug, 100%, bro. Like that's not even a question, bro.
Devil's lettuce, you use it once, you're not gonna be cooked. But this idea that it's this harmless drug,
yeah, this shit take over your brain, bro, and your motivation.
Out the hard way, couldn't be more of a lie. I fell for it. Like, I was a moron. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I started using it around 15. At the time, I think I just wanted to be cool. Like, I was an insecure little dude. I'm not gonna lie. I was the shortest kid in my freshman class. Calling me a late bloomer would be an understatement. I didn't hit puberty and start growing until like junior year. So by senior year, I mogged. But up until then, kids were making fun of me, calling me lesbian, and I was insecure.
Damn. Yeah, see, that's crazy, bro. Hey, bullying will do crazy things to you, bro. If you get bullied, bro, if you're around the wrong people, like, it's better to have one good friend than a lot of like bad friends who just fuck you up and like put you in the wrong places, make you wanna show out just to like be part of the friend group, bro. Might as well just don't be part of the friend group. It's a bad friend group, But yeah, bullying really do crazy shit, bro. Hey, bullying ain't good.
Telling me that I was like Ellen DeGeneres and I was just like a loser, and I realized quickly, weed shut that voice up and made me forget about it, not care about it at all. So that's how I got into it at first. And on top of that, I was getting these crazy headaches at this time, migraines that would make me so sick I would be throwing up. And the only thing that helped me was smoking. None of the medicines that the doctors were giving me worked. So if that wasn't enough for me to be like, yo,
yeah, hey, I feel bad for this man. I feel this man, because he was really in like the worst position to start his addiction. Like it was as if it was helping him, bro, and really not, bro. Really not helping you.
Like this shit. In 2016, a friend of mine suddenly died, and with no clue how to process those thoughts, weed provided me and the bros a much needed escape. So you combine these things together, and very quickly, I'm a daily user. And technology, I've said this before, 2016, 2017 was like the industrial revolution of degeneracy. Teachers didn't know what carts were, that we could use pens to get smacked in the locker room every single day at lunch.
Boys, if you haven't tried the pen yet, I suggest you never try the pen. Because the pen, bro, that shit will fuck you up bad, bro. Hey, the pen ain't good. You'll feel it for a whole week after, like, if you do too much. Don't ever try the pen. Jenny, don't try the pen. Like, this is just from like, talking from experience. Don't ever try a pen.
It was like the Wild West. And I don't know if this was just a New York thing, but there was this one brand called Space Vapes. And honestly, looking back, it was probably cut with some crazy shit, because it dead tasted like soap. I mean, to this day, when I use my face wash, I'm like, yo, why does this smell like what I was smoking as a kid? So between, vapes, edibles, carts, even regular sprayed flour.
I think the safest way to do it is either rolling it yourself. Don't get it pre-rolled, because you're going to get either scammed, or you're going to get some bullshit in there that's not weed. And space cakes, I guess. But like, don't never try to pen, bro.
We had no idea what we were inhaling. We just knew that it felt good, and that was pretty much my experience at first. And talking about it now sounds awful. I mean, I definitely did irreversible damage to my brain and my body. But you got to remember, this is 2017. So right now, the at this point in time, the Zandemic is in full effect. Heads were straight up knocked out in class. Like when the bell rang, you had to wake them up to go to the next class. So at the time, my mushy, underdeveloped brain was like, damn, at least I'm being healthy with my pesticidal weed as opposed to, popping fake Xans. It felt like weed was always there for me, which sounds crazy, but from 2015 all the way up to basically 2023, I used it every day. Fully ingrained itself into my life.
Damn. Damn, I feel bad for this man, bro. Every single day, bro.
Remember, this is a unique time because when I started using it, it was still illegal. Like I had to use my friend's piss for a piss test in 2018 just to become a doorman because I had weed in my system. And then you fast forward a few years later, all of a sudden it's accepted. It's like the easiest thing to get. Every store, every
Facts, and this pisses me off. Why is it so easy to get yourself some shit, bro? Why is it so easy in this, like right now, why is it so easy to get yourself weed, bro? Like, it's like they're trying to auto-deprecate the society, bro. Why is it so easy to get weed? I don't get that, bro.
deli, there's dispos on every block, right? So it was like as it was becoming something I needed to function more and more, as I was becoming more and more dependent on it, it was becoming more and more accepted. And I was so stubborn about it too. If there was anyone saying anything negative, I'd bug out. I'd instantly be like, "You don't understand, bro. Like it's so much better for you than drinking." Like that was just the justification.
I did my research on this. It low-key is better for you, like for your body than drinking, but for your brain, this shit fucks your brain up, like bad. This shit actually fucks your brain up, bro. And the addiction is way harder to get out of.
And it felt like that was the general consensus among society at the time, too. But anyway, my tolerance had gotten so high, I had gotten so dependent on it that really no one could notice when I was smacked. Like when I was a doorman, I would literally face a J on the way to work and nobody had a clue. Or at least that's what I thought, right? Every stoner, it's funny, swears they're like the best at hiding it. And myself, I was pretty nasty at hiding it, but the truth is, somebody always knows. So during this time, despite how much I tried to ignore them, the consequences of this quote perfect drug were becoming harder and harder to ignore. The stuff that they didn't tell us about. The reasons they tell us or they told me when I was a kid not to smoke was just because it can trigger psychosis, and that was always a scary one because I've seen that happen to somebody and it's so
Yeah.
sad. But I was a cocky teenager, so I didn't care about that. I was taking that risk, and obviously the other risk they always told us about is like how bad it is for your lungs to smoke. Again, true, but not enough to deter a little walnuts from getting geeked. So, if I was warning younger me about the problems with becoming dependent on something like weed, to actually scare somebody, I would start with one word, and it would be complacency. The most low key but dangerous side.
Facts. Facts. Weed, bro. Weed will make you the most complacent guy ever, bro. You will genuinely better out every single day, all day, without a fucking world about your life, bro. You're gonna stop caring about everything, bro. Like genuinely, you're gonna stop caring about everything. You're not gonna have any motivation to go to the gym. You're gonna have no motivation to make content. You're gonna have no motivation to work in school. You're gonna have no motivation to ever care for anything, bro. Like that's the thing people don't talk about, bro. That's the part that's like really scary about this shit.
Effect of my daily use was how cool I became with being a pathetic loser. I don't know how else to put it. I was confusing getting smacked.
Oh yeah, and the worst part is you don't see it coming because when you're complacent like that, it seems like the normal. Like you don't see that shit, bro. You don't see that you're becoming a loser. You don't see that you're changing. You don't. It's other people around you that see you start changing, start being like less motivated. You could have been like a bright kid, and you just like after a year, all that is all, bro. You just get fucked up, bro.
Every single night with being happy with my present circumstances. When I first picked up on this, it was during COVID. After months of being locked down with my entire family, understandably, they were starting to lose it. But me, like everyone was shocked with how well I was handling being stuck at home doing absolutely nothing. They didn't understand it. I did though. I was getting geeked the entire time, ripping Warzone with the gang. And I'll never forget the day that my plug ran out, and after about 12 hours, the misery of my situation, the reality of what I had been doing for the past few months, punched me in the face all at once. Like I realized that I have just been rotting at home, doing nothing for months. And instantly I was in a terrible mood. There was only one thing that could make me happy at this point in time and pull me out of this depression. And you can probably guess what it was. The problem with daily use, you'll look around and be like, shit, I have everything that I need in life right now. Your situation, your reality will feel perfect. You'll have no complaints, which sounds nice, right? It sounds like gratitude. But the problem is, in most cases,
Yeah, the problem is most cases it's not true, and you're gonna have consequences at some point, right? Because it's not actually true. Not everything's perfect. Not everything's sunshine and rainbows, right?
that isn't actually your reality. Like, my reality was a chud reality, but I couldn't see that because I was so satisfied. The next most obvious long-term effect is the brain fog. And even when I wasn't geeked, I just knew in the back of my mind that I was not firing on all cylinders. I would constantly be trying to convince myself that it's not making me dumb, but eventually it just catches up to you. The studies
Facts.
are
That shit
coming
like the
out,
brain fog.
and
The brain fog is bad. The shit like weed makes you dumb. Like it makes you stupid, bro.
And this is again why timing is so important, because when I was looking at the studies as a kid, they were all from the 80s and they were smoking some ass pack in the 80s. I was smoking the good shit. So the studies are coming out now. Now you see something like the average habitual smoker sees an IQ drop of 8 points. Now you see things that the hippocampus, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is the memory center, literally shrinks. Again, this isn't going to happen if you do it once a month or whatever, but this is what happens when you abuse it. And I was abusing the shit out of it. I'll never forget at my corporate job, I would never smoke before or during that job, but it didn't matter. I went in to ask for a promotion one time, which I deserved 100%. I was being horribly underpaid. But in the meeting, I remember just not being able to articulate myself. I couldn't get what I needed to say out.
Yeah, and that's scary, bro. When you lose control of yourself, bro, that's when it's scary. That's when it's because you want to do like you can't. Your brain just slows down, and that's scary, bro.
Underneath this fog, this cloud of kush. So I botched it and I didn't get the promotion for another quarter. And I'll never forget walking away from that meeting, just thinking to myself, like, yo, I need to stop making myself dumber. I knew deep down the cause of it. And it was just like I was living life on hard difficulty. The short-term memory thing really started to mess with me too, especially when I discovered reading and started reading books. I noticed like I'm forgetting plot points, characters, information just wouldn't stick. Bro, do you know how many
If you're in school doing weed, bro, quit that shit, bro. Like, Jay, you can't remember shit. Like, you're in class, bro. You're trying to like remember stuff. You're trying to like keep some shit. If you have exams coming up and shit, bro, don't smoke, bro. That shit's gonna fuck you up, bro.
movies I've watched for the first time twice? Like, you can sit there and enjoy something when you're high, but a few weeks later you'll completely forget what it was that you liked, right? And a few months later, you'll forget about it all. It's totally gone. And the thing that was so scary about it was how easy it was to hide. My family didn't even know how geeked up I was getting. You can move around your daily life getting drunk and people are going to notice. People are going to pick up on that, right? But not with weed. So it got to this point where I just couldn't lie to myself anymore. But I still couldn't quit. So even though I knew it was doing me dirty, the idea of stopping was too terrifying to even dive into, because subconsciously I knew that whatever it was specifically that I was self-medicating for, which at this point there was a ton of reasons, but the reason that I was numbing myself every night, I would have to face that. All that shit comes right back into the picture when you finally stop. In this world, there are geekers and non-geekers. I've accepted the fact that I'm a geeker. So the question becomes, how does someone who loves getting geeked stop getting geeked? The answer is simple. You don't. I still get geeked. I just don't need a J or a cart or edibles to do it anymore. The goal is to be geeked sober. So what I had to do was change my definition of getting geeked, switch my focus from trying to numb and dissociate from life to instead really rolling that life shit up and smoking that.
Yes, bro. You gotta just level up in real life, bro. Cause weed, bro. What we will do, bro, is weed is gonna like make you feel like everything is okay, right? You can be in the worst situation. Weed will make you feel okay. You're broke. Weed will make you feel okay. You can't like go to school. Weed will make you feel okay. You're in the wrong like situation. Weed will make you feel okay. You have a bad situation. Weed will make you feel okay, bro. That shit like makes you forget shit, bro. And not in like the sense of like you don't remember it, but it will make you feel like you're happy with everything you have. You have food, you have water, you have a bed. And it will make you feel like complacent and happy in the fact that you have that. And like it'll just make you like feel better than you really should be feeling to upgrade your life.
I wanted to quit 100 times at least, but I couldn't because I was telling myself, you know, I'm going to be missing out on this, I'm missing out on that. And some of that I can accept is true. Like that warm feeling, that ability to always have something to lean on, instantly switch yourself into a good mood where nothing can bother you. But the truth is, and I had to learn this, there is no substance to alleviate this life shit properly. The ups and downs of life, it's just part of the game. For years, I was trying to self-medicate these downs, trying to make them easier to deal with, but any substance that you rely on to do this will eventually come back and get your ass, bro, right? So I started to prioritize consciousness, clearing my brain up, being present, and all this to me starts with meditation. I'm not going to bitch about it like I always do, but it was non-negotiable in this process for me. I still do it every single day, every morning, and I swear it has gotten to this point where it is so much better than getting smacked. It's like I'm doing a wake and bake, but I'm subtracting the baking. You're just waking. So I sound so stupid saying that, but I don't know how else to describe it. Focusing
If you know, you know.
this type of growth is how I started to move forward. Because weed, what it does is it forces introspectiveness, but it's not in the same way that meditation does. It's not something that makes you grow. So what I started to do was focus on growth. And I'm not trying to sound like a self-help Chad here, but this is seriously how I got out of this. I honed in on the things that I couldn't do because of the brain fog, because of the weed, the memory problems, right? So reading was at the top of that list too. Learning, remembering shit, thinking through things. What I was doing was trading that immediate dopamine blast for a different kind of high, like a kind of high that slowly shows up in your day-to-day life. And once I noticed myself feeling sharper, that was it. It started to require a lot less willpower to stop, to not smoke, because I was focused on mental progress. The gym too. The problem with me was I had already been going to the gym for years at this point, and a lot of times I would go to the gym geeked up as well. So it wasn't like that much of a lifestyle adjustment, but I really relied on it heavily and still do, to be honest. Like
The gym is so important. The gym, guys,
physical progress.
the gym is so important for you, bro. Like that shit will make you feel better. On like a worst day you're having, bro, go gym, you'll feel better, bro.
Focusing on that again, I'm not sure I would have been able to quit without that. And to this day, it's like when I get a big lift in, or if I do some crazy cardio or play basketball, then, you know, hit the steam room, I walk out of that gym geeked, high as a kite, just without the anxiety, without the self-doubt, without the munchies, dude. Another thing I had to focus on to quit. I had gotten so used to going nuts every single night at 10 p.m., just inhaling food because of the bottomless pit in my stomach. Once that was gone, I was able to cut weight, and combined with how heavy I was leaning on the gym, and all of a sudden I'm seeing more progress. So I stuck to that. I had to hold on to that. Next thing I noticed, all of a sudden I'm having dreams again. Like, dude, I basically went a decade with zero dreams. So at first I was tripping. Like at first the dreams were so real. I could barely realize that they were dreams. But for the first time, my body was getting that deep sleep.
Yeah, guys, because look, weed removes a part of your body that does deep sleep, right? So when you smoke, you don't dream anymore, bro. You just have no more dreams. You don't have any good quality sleep. Even though you feel like you slept well, you really didn't. So once you cut off on that shit, bro, you get some real ass crazy dreams. Like genuinely, you can't tell the difference, bro. Like that's actually like, it's really crazy. You'll fall asleep and boom, you'll get like the most realistic, most like craziest dream you had, bro. And that shit will like go on for a few nights, bro. Even if you like smoke every other week or some shit, quit that shit for like a month. You'll see the dreams coming back, bro.
I was preventing by getting high every night. So another thing I started to focus on was energy and how much more I had during the day. It's like I spent so many years complaining, why am I so tired all the time? Why do I need naps? It's like, wow, who would have thought big brain bro stopped smoking weed all the time? Now he has more energy. All this combined, all this is progress and this want to become better because I no longer had this crutch that was telling me I don't, I'm good where I'm at. I don't need to be better because I have everything I need. Because that wasn't my reality. It was a fake reality. Focusing on the progress, even if it was small at first, was the only way I was able to climb out of this deep
Facts.
ass hole that I put myself in. Memory, another one. It's like, yo, my memory is way better now. This is something that makes me not want to go back to daily use. I would be stupid because I've seen the light. So just like with any addiction, if you're a heavy user, a daily user like I was, you have to go cold turkey. You will be a cranky bitch because of it. And that's fine because you have to go through this. I did too. I was just not pleasant to be around. But you need to do that. You need to go the distance. So if you do end up partaking, one night out, you're with friends or you go see a movie, you smoke, take a hit of a J or something, because you've seen the light now, there's zero chance that you go back to daily use, to abusing it. And what I did for the really bad urges, because there will be urges, especially at first, when you're at home, if you're bored for a second, it's going to hit you. So you need to be able to start moving physically or mentally. But if nothing else works, what I would do is I would go to the store and get CBD gummies and just muck the entire bag of gummies. And that would trick my brain into thinking that I'm getting geeked and it would kill the urge. But that whole time, I'm still sober. So viewing it as this band-aid for all problems, this medicine is just fried. But viewing it as this big, bad, devastating drug, also kind of fried. I know now, like, I will never go back to the way it was because, like I said, I've seen the other side. But, sometimes there's a time and a place, once in a blue moon. The way that I view it now is like it is not a medicine.
Yep.
It's a substance that changes your state. In some ways, you can compare it to alcohol, where only on occasion you partake and you can still live a completely healthy life. But at the same time, the pros and cons of that, they're so different that that comparison doesn't really actually hold up. They're different. They're just different drugs. But the lie they told us was that weed
Yeah,
was better than
100%.
alcohol. They're both terrible. They're both products that you cannot be consuming
On a
on
daily basis.
or even frequent basis and live a healthy life. And they have pros and cons. Like a pro of the occasional drink or two is that you're more likely to end up outside of your comfort zone, being social, right? It'll loosen you up a little bit. But a con is that you feel like dying the next day and you're killing your liver. Where a pro of weed would be that sometimes it changes your perspective in a positive way. You see something differently. But a con is that you're more likely to isolate yourself at the crib and just eat and game. And I do want to be clear, there are situations where it can be medicinal, but we know that. Like for me, when I had my crazy surgery, they prescribed me perks for the pain, and I used edibles instead. I didn't touch the yerks. Okay, actually, no. I had one yerk, but if you guys knew the pain I was in, but they prescribed me a whole bottle and I threw that shit out. I used edibles instead. So there are medicinal benefits, but the general population, me and the bros, do not need to be doing this shit frequently. We are
Facts.
not smoking the shit that our parents were smoking, right? All the research on weed and its impact on the brain, especially on teenagers and in young adults, was done when they were smoking absolute mids. Because of legalization, because these companies are trying to make as much money as possible, they're pumping as much THC into these products as possible. Even since from when I was in high school to now, it was like back then we would smoke and we would get the giggles and laugh, and then now you get a pre-roll from a dispensary, you start looking around like, yo, why is everyone looking at me?
Yeah, facts, bro. You start tripping balls,
Like I
bro.
swear, it's just way more potent. Why they decided to do this, my guess is that higher tolerance means higher profits, but it's important to keep in mind that this is not the same drug that it was 30, 40 years ago. This is a new level of getting geeked. So moral of the story for me was that being sober, as much as it might suck at any given time, is always going to be the way. And anytime you make exceptions for
Yep.
that, you need to accept the consequences. Let me know.
Facts. Hey, boys. This video low-key taught us a lot. I can't lie. This video is low-key very helpful. So thank you a lot to Polly Walnuts. And yeah, with that being said, that's it for the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and yeah, I'm out of here. Why am I not subscribed to him? I'm gonna subscribe to him right now. Put the bell, post a notification, and like the video, as y'all should be doing on my video right now. And with that being said, yeah, I'm out of here.